Howdy mates, good afternoon, how are y'all doing? It is a thoughtful Thursday, December 14th, 2023, and let's just say I'm with my fellow Darling. Welcome to the Lake Darling State Park, located in southern Iowa, and this reservoir is in dedication to a one J.N. Ding Darling. And for my fellow Floridian family and friends, that name may sound familiar to you. It's a National Wildlife Refuge located on Sanibel Island, just off the coast, the Gulf Coast of Florida. See, Mr. Darling was an Iowan. He grew up in this state, but he had a little getaway that was located on Sanibel Island. And pretty much with his story, for the longest time, he was a political cartoonist. And he worked for a number of different publishers throughout his life. A couple of them were the Des Moines Register, as well as the New York Herald Tribune. And with his cartoons, he made himself quite profitable. And usually each of his cartoons had some kind of message associated with them, whether it was the political aspect during the 1930s or involving conservation. And as part of his work, as he came back to Iowa, he became a member of the Iowa Fish and Game Commission. And he started most of this program through Iowa State University, which is in Ames, just north of Des Moines. Because he noticed during that time frame there really weren't many professionals trained in wildlife conservation. And he figured during that time Iowa was really under the high development of agriculture. And so more and more of those precious habitats were dwindling. And so, through his philanthropy, he was able to enforce that program a bit more. And as it got into 1936, this is shortly after the Great Depression, FDR recently started his presidency, and he started what was known as the U.S. Biological Survey. And he appointed Mr. Darling as essentially the president. Essentially, this survey later became known as the USFWS, or the United States Fish and Wildlife Services. And the organization protects a number of different national wildlife refuges throughout the country. And so one of the very first ones that began was the Ding Darling Refuge on Sanibel Island. And I believe that was actually under Truman's presidency. But you could say Ding Darling played a large role in the upcoming future of how wildlife refuges were going to be protected. Now, granted, this is not exactly a wildlife refuge. This is a state park, but it is named in his honor. And he did have a particular fascination with migratory birds. And you figure since we are not too far from the Mississippi River, there's a lot of migratory birds that travel through here during this time. I mean, we're kind of past a little bit of that already, but maybe if I was here a month or even two earlier, I can only imagine that there was a lot more migratory waterfowl. Alright, I believe that should wrap up my video. Thanks for watching, and have a great Thursday. Take care.